There was a Christmas party at my brother's house, and so we got there, and my nieces and nephews, their cousins, were already on the other side of the neighborhood Christmas caroling, and so the kids wanted to catch up. My mother volunteered. She said, I'll be glad to carry them over there.
We were kind of putting out the cookies and getting ready for them to show back up, and the phone rang. I heard my sister-in-law scream, and then all of a sudden I hear someone say in the background, Jackson's been run over.
So we all rushed over there, and the ambulance and the medic team got there, and they began working on him and got him on a stretcher and got him out of there. My wife and I got into the back of a police car and went to the hospital.
And I'll never forget, Smith was screaming in the car, and I was telling him, you know, everything's going to be okay. And he just kept screaming and beating his fist against the back of the police car. And we got to the hospital, and the doctor comes in and looks at Smith and I, and the words that came out of his mouth, I just never thought I would ever hear, that Jackson was no longer here. They couldn't save him.
I just remember falling apart, and then some time had elapsed, and they said we could go in the room with him, and it was in that room that I began to pray, and she said, you go to your God and you fix this.
As mad as I was that this was happening, I knew Jackson wasn't here, and he had to be somewhere, because I refused to believe that he was just gone. And so I bowed my head over him, and I prayed to God that I would somehow find him and be sure that I would never question my salvation again.
When you're confronted with someone you love dearly, who an hour prior you were speaking with, and now you're seeing their shell of a body, you begin wrestling with that and saying, okay, well then where is he? You know, why would you allow this to happen? Did we do something wrong? You start down the trail of guilt and shame and worry, and we started really digging into the Word. What does the Word say about heaven? What does the Word say about where Jack is? And it says a lot.
The first thing I did when we got back to our house was I went into my office and I sat down at the desk, and just so happens that my Bible was sitting there on the desk, and I kind of flipped it open, and the whole page had been scribbled on by my son. I just laid my head in the Bible and cried. I feel like in the beginning I was really looking for Jack and not for God, or not to look to have a relationship with Christ. But I think God used the curiosity inside of me of wanting to know where my son was to lead me to his loving heart.